Survivor. Whatever you read and whatever you hear talk about the Holocaust, words cannot put it in the right way. Believe me, I went through it and I remember. My name is Esther Geisels. I was born in Lodz, Poland. I was exactly 10 years old when the Nazis invaded Lodz. It was September 1939. Within a few weeks, we felt how horrible it was. We had a shortage of food. It was when we went outside, the Polish hoodlums used to teach the Germans who was a Jew and who was not a Jew. And I remember standing in line for bread, and he recognized me, one of the hoodlums. Oh, there was no bread left. You know, the Germans had a lot of help well, we are good and bad in all countries, in all people, but they had a lot of cooperation from the people of Poland. The Polish people also saved a lot of people. But like I said, there is good and bad in all of us. So, we were in these conditions. About five weeks later, they ordered a ghetto for us. Don't forget, we were a lot of Jewish people who lived in Lodz. The place that they picked was a very uninhabited place. Nobody lived there. It was terrible. We got one room for a family, and it was dilapidated. The water was outside. The toilets were outside. We had nothing. And we lived like this for 4.5 years. In order for me to get a ration card, I had to work. At the age of 11, not even 11, I entered my 5th grade school, and within a few months they closed it. I didn't even finish my 5th grade elementary school. In order for me to live, I had to go and get a job, do something, to get a card to get my ration food. This existed for 4.5 years. We had to work hard to please our commandeer, who was Bibov, was his name. And we had an eldest there who was taking care of the Jewish ghetto. He tried his best. People didn't like him because he had to do all the things that the Germans asked him to do to keep the ghetto together. Of course, we had selections all the time. When you were 40 years old, you were old. You were not good to work anymore. So they sent us to different places. And those different places were gas chambers. I remember my beloved grandmother was in a selection. She was only in her early 50s. And they said that she went right to Belgium, I remember. I read after the war, I read where they went, straight to the gas chambers. So, I was protected because I lived with my parents. I had a little brother who was he had tuberculosis, you know, it's from lack of food and we had to hide him all the time when there was a selection and they looked for young kids. We had to hide him either under the bed or in the closet, or we had to bribe the policeman who was looking for those people to leave him alone, to omit our dog. The conditions in the ghetto were horrible. I know there's a lot of documentaries in Yad Vashem. I was there many, many times, but nobody can. You see, I speak without a note, without anything, because everything is so embedded in me. all this pain, what I went through as a child. I had no, I was 10 years old when the war broke out. But I feel it, and everything comes back to me. And it was just unbelievable. I cannot describe, I cannot find the right words to describe our tragedy. 1944, the Russians were advancing. They took over already a lot of Polish cities, and some people were liberated. Today, it's the commemoration, it's the, for Auschwitz. 75 years ago, Auschwitz was liberated. At this time, I was still in the Lodz ghetto. We had to eliminate the ghetto because the Russians were advancing. And we went from the ghetto, they took us to Auschwitz. I remember going into the cattle cars with my mother and father, my little brother, my aunt, my cousin. There was no room to sit in the cattle cars. We had to stand up on the sides to make rooms for everybody. There were hundreds of people in there. You know, from Lodz to Auschwitz was about 4 hours by train. But they dragged us for 2 days and 2 nights in those cattle cars. I remember arriving in Birkenau. I still see those. I remember so vividly. They opened the cattle cars. People were falling out from there were so many deaths. And all I remember is the German officers, the green uniforms and the black boots and the German shepherds next to them. All the dirty work, all the things, the inmates did it. And everybody, schnell, everything fast. They told us to separate. Men on one side, women and children on the other side. My father left to the men. I was left with my mother and my little brother. As we stood there, we had to line up singularly. I remember my mother saw a neighbor of ours who had this child, a little girl, she was maybe 5 years old. To this very day, I don't know how our neighbor saved this child in 1944. Believe me, there were so many selections before, and he kept this child. And he was helpless, he didn't know what to do. My mother, she was 37 years old. She went over to my neighbor and she says, let me have the child, I'll take care of her. She wouldn't let go of this child's hand. Before we knew it, everything went so fast. And we stood singularly. And my mother was standing there with the child. She was holding the little girl's hand. And we stood in front of Mengele. He said to my mother, is this your child? My mother nodded, yes. She wouldn't let go of this child's hand. And he motioned her to the left. My little brother was very, very frail. He motioned him to the left. He looked at me, he motioned me to the right. I started to cry, no, I want to go with my mother, I want to go on the other side. Out of nowhere, an inmate who was keeping order there stood in front of me, and she said to me in Polish, don't you dare move. And not only did she talk to me not to move, but she blocked my way. I couldn't take a step. She was all over the place. And I watched my mother walk away on the left side with my brother, with my aunt and little cousin. My mother was my heroine. She was 37 years old, and she died because she wouldn't leave a little child again alone. I was put into the bed house. They shaved my head and they disinfected us. You know, like you do for animals, sometimes you give them a powder to eliminate the fleas on them. That's what they did to us. We disrobed, we were naked. We were thrown one dress, no underwear, nothing. And I got a dress about 2 sizes, 3 sizes too big. Don't forget, I was 14 years old. And I got a pair of shoes with a high heel. I always was barefoot and I couldn't walk in those shoes. My dress was pink. And I lived there, and I was in Auschwitz for 2 months. It was a horror story. We came to the barracks. We were like 6 on one place where only 3 people could stay. We always had to be on the side. We couldn't live straight because there was no room for us. The sailor till 5 o'clock in the morning. We went out, we stood there for hours. The food was a little black coffee, which was ersatz. It wasn't regular coffee. It was very little food. And we didn't know what to do, so they created jobs for us. I remember picking up stones from here and putting them here. And the German soldiers stood around and they left. They made fun of us. And that's what I endured. Then came a selection. They put the group of us to Bergen-Belsen. I don't remember our trip to Bergen-Belsen. I don't know, it must have been so horrific that my mind couldn't absorb it. I just don't remember. And I had a friend who wrote a book and he had the same thing in his book. That he couldn't remember from transport for one another. We came to Bergen-Belsen, they had no room for us. Because it was the end of 1944. The Russians were advancing. And they had a lot of Hungarian women in the camp. So there was no room for us. You know what they did? It was already November, the end of November. And they put tents for us. We stayed in tents in the middle of winter. We slept on snow and ice. The camaraderie among us was very good, I have to say so. Because there was always somebody who wanted to take care of me. And a Hungarian woman came over to me. She says, I see that you're very young. Let me take care of you. Let's stay together on the sailor well, that's good. So I was very grateful that she took care of me. She read my palm and she said to me, you'll survive, you'll have a good life. She said things to me that came true to my life. She was right. And one night we went to bed. We were robbing each other's bags for body warmth. And in the morning I got up and she was dead next to me. I was holding on to a dead woman. These were my conditions. We went to the sailor, we went out of the barracks, from the tents. And we roamed around, we didn't do nothing. Then we were evacuated again. They sent us to Auschwitz. This was on the border of the Czech Republic and Germany. Yeah, you have to excuse me, I'm so dry, I talk too much. And ultimately, I have the honor of the council to do it for me. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, I love it. I love Israel. It's my soul. Israel is my soul. I look at you. So, we came to Auschwitz. It was already a little better because we were indoors. We didn't stay in the tent anymore. We were indoors. And we went went to a ammunition factory. We worked in an ammunition factory. And we used to walk for miles. And this lasted a few weeks because this was already in March, April, it was already in March, April. And we were sent from Rochnica on the dead march. Because like I said, the Russian armies were advancing. They had already Poland, they were already liberated. So we went on the dead march. We looked, we were only going to little villages. They wouldn't take us to a town or anything, only to small villages. The peasants used to come out and look at us, and they asked, who are you? Where are you? What are you? We did not resemble any human being. We were skeletons in rags. This is how we looked. And we walked. If you couldn't walk anymore, they left you there. They didn't even use a bullet to end our suffering. They just left us on the road and they marched on. I was with 4 girls, about my own age. I was the youngest. I was always the youngest, and now I'm 9 years old. And we said, when we were lucky, from our marches all around those villages, the farmers used to give us the high loft in the barn to sleep up there. With the hay, on the bottom we had the animals. We had the cows and the pigs, and we slept up there. We decided, the 5 of us, that if we go up again, if we are lucky enough to sleep over again in a high loft, we will not come down when the march goes on in the mornings. If they catch us, they will shoot us, and that's what we wanted. We absolutely wanted to die. We couldn't suffer anymore. Don't forget, we had water was our snow from the grounds. We had no food. They gave us nothing. The only thing they did is beating us. And that's what we did. One day we were up in the high loft, and we said, we're not moving. When everything was nice and quiet, we came down, and the farmer was very angry with us. What are you still doing here? So we told him we always slept, which was a big lie, of course. And he says, well, they went that way. So when we were out of the office side, we took another road. On the way, we saw that we were approaching villages in Czechoslovakia. And we came to one of the places, that small village, and we identified as Polish girls. We didn't identify as Jews. And we told them that we escaped a concentration camp. And they were wonderful to us. For the first few days we stayed in the barn, because you have to excuse my saying it. We were full of lies, we were dirty. The food that they gave us was not good for us. We couldn't eat anymore, our stomachs were strong. I was maybe 70 pounds at the time. And after a few days, each family took one of us in. And I came into our house, which in 1940, it was already 1945. They had no electricity. They had an afterlife. But the people were wonderful. And I remember they made the first night when I slept in a house. They had one room and a little kitchen. This was the existence of the little house. But I remember the first night that I slept. They put a straw mattress next to the fireplace. The fireplace used to warm up the whole house, the whole little house. This was the heating system. And next to the fireplace, and I slept. I still remember the feeling but my heart was aching. Where am I? Who am I? Where are my parents? What am I going to do? And within a few weeks, the Russians entered. They didn't want us to go out and meet the Russian soldiers. They said, stay in, stay in. They were afraid. They were always said that the Russian soldiers are not so nice to the girls. They protected us. Within a few days, the Russians retreated, and the American army came. And they said, well, now if you want to go and say hello to the new soldiers, you can do it. We came out. We didn't know a word of English, but I was the brave one, and I said to them, does anybody speak Yiddish here? And of course we had Americans, Jewish Americans in the army. And they told us not to go back to Poland, that there are still pogroms, which was a very bad one in Kielce. They killed the survivors. After the war, the Polacks killed us too. And he said, don't go back. Try to go to America. What did I know about America? I said, yes. At first I want to look for my family. Don't go back to Poland. But of course we didn't listen. After a few weeks we went. The transportation was so horrible. We didn't have no railroads, there were railroads, but they were going in all different directions. Horse and buggies. We came to Poland. I came to Lodz. There was a Jewish committee, because they were liberated in January, and this was already April, the end of April. No, it was May already. The war ended May. And my uncle was liberated he was in a Polish camp. So he was liberated in January. And I stayed with my uncle. And then we wanted to leave Poland. We wanted to go to Palestine. But of course, Palestine was closed. With the British mandate, we couldn't travel. We couldn't go to Cyprus from here. To go to Israel and wind up in Cyprus. We just felt wherever we can go, just to leave Germany and leave. We had to smuggle out of Poland. I remember driving a whole night with a group of people, and we came to Vienna. From Vienna we went to the American zone because you could only register to go to Palestine and to go to the States. I remember I stayed with my uncle. After 3 months, my father was, I'm so happy. My father was in Dachau. Excuse me, I take off my jacket. It's hot here. Oh, thank you. Okay. So, we came to Vienna. From Vienna, we went to Salzheim, near Frankfurt. There was a DP camp in Salzheim. And my father was with us, and he married, well, he was only 39 years old. Now I understand better. He met a woman and they got married. And in Salzheim, we only got one room. At the time I was already 16 years old. And I was torn between, I couldn't stay with my father and his wife. First of all, she instigated my father. She didn't find any good in me. She was jealous because I survived. She had a daughter that she lost in the war. So she was jealous that I survived, not her little girl, not her daughter. Her daughter was only about a year younger than I was. And it was a very bad time for me. Naturally, we looked for company, we looked for friendships. I met a wonderful man. He was 8 years older than I was. Francine knew him, and he became my boyfriend. One day he tells me that he has an affidavit to come to America, He's leaving the end of 1946 in the evening, at the end of 1946. He says, "Are you registered?" I says, "My God, I'm not, I don't know what to do. Why should I go register?" He says, "You know," he was so smart. He says, "Let's go to the American Council in Frankfurt am Main and let's see what we can do." We came to American Council. We had an interpreter because we didn't speak any English. And the council came in. He looked at me and he said, well, you want to come to America? America would love to have you. How old are you? I said, I'm 17. He says, I have a quota of youth that I can bring people up to 18 years old. I fill out the application for you, and you'll be in America within a few months. And you know something? This is American Council said to me, tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day. We love the country. We give thanks for all the wonderful things we have in America. You'll do fine there. We'd love to have you. Don't worry, you'll be in America very soon. You'll join your boyfriend. And he kept his word. This was my immigration. This was my coming to America. How much better can you do? I mean, I see, I compare the people who want to come to this country, what they have to go through. He filled out my application. He says, don't write anything that you have a father. Leave it open, I take care of it. And he did. Because if I had a father, maybe I couldn't come with the youth group. I don't know what he had. But he just helped me. I came to America Valentine's Day, 1947. It was a very good omen for me because I'm very romantic and I'm very, very affectionate. I love people. So I came here and I saw the Statue of Liberty. And I saw my first black people who are wonderful. Because we didn't see black people in Poland where I live. And you know what they told us? I have to tell you that they come from Africa and they have bad tents. It was very hot and they were sun tanned. And this is how it became dark from the sun. And okay, it's, you know, we took everything that they spoke to us and let us know a little bit about the country, what to expect. I came here right away. I went to school. I went to learn the language, just a few sentences. I couldn't live in a country where I didn't know anything. And I moved in with my boyfriend's sisters, and 6 months later we were married. I was at an old age of 18. My husband was 26. My husband lived in Krakow, went through the same. He wasn't on Schindler's List, but he was in Plaszow. And he went through hell. And he says, you know, we had a printing in Krakow. And I know all the machines, I know everything. He was a good head and a good heart. He said, I want to open a printing shop. I said, Ben, you don't know the language. How can you do it? To open a printing without knowing the language? He says, we'll manage, we'll do it. And he did it. He went into a bank. This is how America was 75 years ago. He went into a bank and he told them, listen, I'm a survivor. I just came here to this country. I need $5,000 to buy a machine. And I pay it back. And they trusted him. They gave him the money and he bought a machine for printing. He was in that business for 50 years. He did a lot of things for Israel. Let me tell you, all the Israeli parades, we always made the leaflets for it, whatever. And we had a wonderful life. It was very difficult, you can imagine. We bought a little house for $12,000. You know what? I don't know how people do it today with those devices. And I brought up three wonderful children. My oldest son is an attorney. What else can you want from a Jewish mother? And I'm a lawyer. So he chose law. And a very, very nice person. He helps. He's in healthcare, and he helps. My children give of themselves, which is to our credit, because we send the children to private schools, the first up to high school. And we went to Israel so many times, and we loved Israel. My youngest son was an accountant. He retired already. And for the Yom Kippur War, he said he graduated City College. He had his BA, and he came up one morning, and he said, Mom, Dad, I'm going as a volunteer to Israel. And he went there, and you know something, he's still there. He lives in Israel for over 40 years. I have wonderful grandchildren. I have, let me think, 4 in Israel, 4 Sabras, I'm so proud. And here I have also 3. He had a wonderful life, but we worked very hard to establish the museum in Washington, D.C. And my husband was very close to the Israeli Council, and he did whatever he could to help out. And they recognized him for who he was. So here I am, after he died. It meant so much to him because he was the initiator of talking. He says, if we want the Holocaust to be remembered, we have to start with students. Now it's up to you. Students, he said, they will remember it. And after he died, I said, I have to continue. And the first few times was very difficult. I tried to get him with my audience, with my kids. And you know, like everything else, experience is the best teacher. And I'm doing it for the next 20 years. And you know something? I spoke to hundreds and hundreds of children. I'm very well received. I love you all, and I thank you for listening. And